I definitely would. I actually spoke with some of the county commissioners last evening about that, and I know that council has looked at setting aside funds to do that. So we definitely, that would be vital for all of the Hobart, PAS, Southern State. All of those would be very beneficial for that area there. Going back to the south side of town, a lot of the problem that we have down there that I've gone out and observed is that the traffic lights aren't timed in any fashion. They're actually a sensor. So if you have 50 cars going in this direction, but one car comes from the opposite side, that one car will trip the light, even though they're going to turn right. That's not helping the situation. I think that the semi-trucks that we do have come through town, they're obviously a very vital part of our community. No truck is going to get off 71 to come through Hillsborough if they don't need to. They're going to stay on 71 and keep going that way. So all of that traffic is our traffic, and we need to make it the best route for all of us.
I know in the ODOT plan for traffic, long-term plan that might, have to enter into the discussion phase. Let's turn a little bit to some of the primary functions that a mayor does. Obviously, safety and security is a big issue. That's one of the primary responsibilities of a mayor. And since the mayor is the top law enforcement official for the city, how would you rank him?
That's not an easy one, is it?
Nobody said the question?
No, you know what? I find that that's an area with the Hillsborough Police Department. There are a lot of opinions either way. There are people that are very complimentary of how our police department works. There are people that are very unhappy with our police department. We have a certain budget. I think the budget for Hillsborough is somewhere around $13 million a year. We have to live within a budget.
Now let's be clear. We're not talking about as far as what you would do to improve. I'm asking with regard to how would you rate our staffing and the effectiveness of our department as they currently stand?
Okay, I believe a cop should walk a beat. In a town our size and for the size police force that we have, I believe there's no excuse for police not to walk a beat. Not necessarily, I don't know that it needs to be all 3 shifts, but I think policemen should be visible. I think the minute a policeman gets behind a car...
What was that, do you think? Anybody have any...
As far as walking the beat, I mean, yeah, you could definitely, the police department is doing a good job in areas that they have the resources to do it with. I do know that we need to spend more money for police services. The problem is that we don't have the resources there to spend it. There's been an increase in theft.
They're currently taking steps to try to rectify that. But I do know they're understaffed. But as far as the guys that are there, I mean, I have no problem. Me personally, I have never had any issues with police as far as if I needed them or I called them, they always showed up within a good amount of time. I think I had one item vandalized once, and they were there right away to check it out and filled out the police report.
And I locked my keys in my car on the way in here, so I will probably need my property crime reports to the newspaper every week. Do you recall how many incidents they sent in this last week?
And no, I don't recall. That's not really my department, but I could probably give an average. It's going to be maybe 6 to 12.
6 to 12 incidents.
I've been very disappointed in the staffing of the police department. We've had February, that money has been budgeted for that police personnel for the entire year. There is no reason whatsoever that another person cannot be hired in. And with that person that is retiring, you know that they're making more money than a new person would be when you bring them in. What they have and can't get on top of our increased drug crime.
You've seen that above.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure that they are understaffed. Just because...
The mayor of Hillsborough said they were.
Well, the mayor of Hillsborough is why the 3 of us are in here.
Hillsborough whatsoever.
Hillsborough cited the ordinance of Hillsborough to say that we are understaffed.
Well, he's cited a lot of ordinances that aren't necessarily correct, and you know that firsthand. As about our problems or the state of a lot of the different. I know that's an issue where we have, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, 4 dispatchers on the police department. There are a number of people, and this has been expense. It's a large expense for the city, and it works in conjunction with the sheriff's department currently, and it's outside of the area of Hillsborough for that position.
I would
If
look,
need to be.
if I would look for anybody that's willing to be here, I'm gonna try to find the best candidate for the
I agree with Rod on a strong background in public works infrastructure. Those are areas that I am not particularly have an expertise in and don't claim to be. That needs to be their strength. I think it's important, and I think part of the problem that we've had as a history here, recent history, and for some people recent history is 8 years, and some people recent history is 20. But I think sometimes, and a little bit that problem is endemic to a small town, is that sometimes when we have people that we've grown up with or that have lived down the street with us, it's hard for them, I think, to go up sometimes against a group, whether it's the firemen, whether it's the police, whether it's the head of a department. Sometimes I think that it makes it difficult, I think, sometimes for them to make that decision. It brings in an area, well, you know, I have to see them every Sunday at church, or, you know, my kids play softball with their kids. I really don't want to lay off 3 people in his department, or I don't want to restructure his job or go up against them for this. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm being...
certainly entertain somebody from outside the city.
Yes, and that's why I asked Rod that. I think it's very important. The SSD position is going to be very important no matter who here is mayor. And that's going to be a prime concern of everybody's. But I do think it's, if you have to look outside, you know.
Okay, very good. How about you, Terry?
The biggest qualities that I think right now we're seeing that have been betrayed are truthfulness, honesty, being able to take someone at their word. Those things, we need some folks that definitely can be trusted in the position and to really help solidify the community, and those that work under them. Obviously, being fair and honest and forthright is good, and anybody who's capable of doing the job should be allowed to apply for it.
So again, would you advocate, or somebody apply for the job from outside? You would entertain that candidate?
There's no discrimination.
Okay, very good. Right now, that has made the news and everything. We'll talk about EMS a little bit. From your perspective, how would you view the current situation with the townships and providing EMS service to them? Derek?
Well, it's definitely something that we all need to be able to sit down and talk and be able to, again, truly trust each other at their